the theme of Baby Joe's big story this week is the prolific start to the career of Odell Beckham Jr. Ignore the antics and watch the numbers.
That's it.
What you talking about, Joe?
Yo, everybody gives Odell a hard time. We all laugh at him. We like to talk about it. He goes viral with the little, things that he says and the things that he does. He's a young kid. And I really think that sometimes people get so caught up in the action, the stuff that he does off the field, the drama, that you actually are missing out on history right in front of your face. Like, you just don't appreciate a guy until he's actually gone. And so what you start to look at, I looked up some information. And I was very surprised to see that Odell Beckham is killing it. Like, he's got one of the most prolific stat line that you probably could see for a player through 50 games. All right.
Okay.
So this article that I found happened last year. It was written last year. It came off of Giants.com. It talks about the numbers. Odell Beckham at 50 games. So let's get it started, right? Mm-hmm. Most receptions through 50 games ever. Odell Beckham, yes.
Who's closest? Is there a list? You don't see that.
The list is here.
Okay. Who's next?
Odell Beckham has 337.
Okay.
Anquan Bolden, 314. Jarvis Landry, 307. Keenan Allen, 298. Julio Jones, 287.
This is the stat line for, say it again?
That's for receptions.
Receptions.
All right,
okay.
just give us like the top 2 or 3.
Okay.
Have to go down
All right,
the
we
list.
go down to the next one. Most receiving yards through 50 games. Lance Allsworth, 4,785.
What year did he play?
I don't remember. I never watched him.
Okay, but it doesn't say show? It doesn't
show. Odell Beckham, 4,695. Julio Jones, 4,471. Randy Moss, 4,272. Jerry Rice, 4,164. Moss and Rice, they're Hall of Famers. All right. Most receiving touchdowns through 50 games. Allsworth has 45, Jerry Rice 44, Randy Moss 43, Gronkowski 42, Rob Hayes 42, Odell has 38. All right. Most 50-yard receiving touchdowns through 50 games. Homer Jones, never heard of him?
Look what she just
Hold on,
did.
we're looking at it. She jumped over somebody?
She jumped over a girl in the chair. You think it's serious now, Joe?
No, I'm still not getting up to get the remote to turn the channel to see that.
Okay.
We're looking at a dunk contest for some young ladies.
Yeah, all right. I'm sorry. Keep on going. Yeah. It's McDonald's All-American. My bad. Keep on going.
Oh, okay. We got distracted. Oh, she gets a pair of shoes. Isn't that nice? Adidas. All right. That she probably won't be eligible to play if she gets those free shoes. You know how they do.
Right.
All right. So anyway, so most 50-yard receiving touchdowns through 50 games. Odell Beckham has 10. The most ever, 16. Right? So
wow.
Keep on going down the list here. Most 100-yard receiving games through 50 games. Lance Allsworth has 21. Odell Beckham has 21. Julio Jones has 20. Randy Moss has 19. Charlie Hannigan has 18. And some guy named Harlan Hill has 18. So you're looking at all these numbers and you're like, everybody's really sleeping. So let's take it back a couple weeks to when this trade happened. I immediately was like, I don't know what they're thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't let that type of player just walk out the door, even if, you don't like him, you don't like the way he rolls. And then you're letting him leave because you want to do what? Hang on to Eli? Mm-hmm. Eli's not going to make this team better.
But guess what, though?
What?
All those numbers that you just pointed out that were Odell Beckham's,
Right.
half of them are Eli Manning's. So how many receivers do we sit here and wonder why this idiot quarterback won't target this guy much, much more? Okay, so we sit here and people get on Eli all the time, but you're sitting and you're looking at a historically prolific beginning to a receiver's career. Mm-hmm. The quarterback is Eli Manning for every game he's ever played in.
That's true. But Eli's regressed. We know that.
We're looking at history here.
Yeah.
But no one else has ever put up these numbers. There's been plenty of awesome receivers to come along with great quarterbacks with a 1-in-1 fit like no other person to throw to. Of all of those potential matchups in the history of the NFL, Odell Beckham is at the top of that list. And the quarterback has to have 50% of the credit.
Well, yeah, he can have part of the credit. But what I'm saying is he is regressing. But what you're saying is leading me to my point of why would you get rid of him? It doesn't make sense. Well, because
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to
because
me
he
either,
asked for
so.
more money.
No,
because he talked
came
about
out
the
of,
city.
Because he came out of his mouth real silly.
Yeah, it don't make a difference. But you don't let that kind of player walk out the door. And what are you gonna do? Oh, we'll replace him. You know, we're the Giants. We always replace him. And when was the last time the Giants won a championship? Like 8 years ago?
Yeah. When was the last time the Lions won a championship?
Never.
When was the last time the Jets won a
Exactly.
championship?
But if we'd have had him, we'd have kept him. I guarantee that we would have never let him go.
And okay, but again, at one point the Lions had the very best receiver in the game, arguably,
Right. We didn't let him go.
for several years.
We paid him.
And how many times did you make the playoffs?
Maybe twice.
With Megatron at his very best.
Maybe twice.
Right. So that player obviously doesn't get you there.
Well, no, the team sucked. We didn't have no defense. There's a lot of things that went into that whole
Right.
process. What I'm saying is, everybody's looking for the next best receiver, the next best running back. You had him, and you just let him walk out of the door to
Yeah.
hang on to Eli. And like it's just that easy to
And-
just find
okay.
another Odell Beckham.
What's Odell Beckham's contract? You have the numbers? You want me to look at the numbers?
Yeah, look
It
at
was-
I
that.
can get the numbers quick.
He's worth the money. I mean,
Is he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's worth the money.
He's worth
he
the money.
leaves. Do you think you're going to sell out every single game?
The Giants?
Yes.
They sold out for years.
Yeah, but not this. They're upset this time. There's a lot of Giants fans I've been talking to who are very disappointed. I know some that are like, oh, it really doesn't make a difference. We'll figure it out. But there's a lot of disappointed fans because
they're mad.
when you look in the stands, you see Odell jerseys way before you see an Eli jersey.
You don't see no more. You saw Barkley. You see Barkley now with Barkley there. Last year you saw Barkley and Odell.
You
Period.
gotta stick until
Only
you're.
Manning jerseys you saw there were people over 40.
Yeah,
That's it.
The Giants will not even know. Giants fans won't even miss him. Won't even know that he's gone.
I don't know about that.
That's only
Won't
if
even
they
know that he's
perform
gone.
this season.
I don't know about
only,
that.
and I doubt. All right, let's remember that even though yes, Eli, I understand your point that Eli was the quarterback. When you look at a Giants game and you look at Eli throwing the ball to Odell, and you see Odell. And you just see that transaction come about. You don't say, "Oh, look at that pass." You say, "Oh, wow, how the hell
Did
did
he catch
Odell
that?
catch that?"
So whoever the quarterback is, Odell's going to get busy.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
and whoever the wide receiver,
Better than anyone ever.
we didn't say that. No one's saying that though.
But that's what.
See, you're-
But that's what we're looking at, though. That is
We're looking at a player
basically the
based on-
foundation of the argument for Odell Beckham is that he is on pace to be the most prolific receiver ever.
Yes, that's what my
Yes.
argument is.
Right. So he's going to be that way with any quarterback.
Not any quarterback.
I
But he
mean,
needs to have a
not
quarterback
Blake
who can get
Bortles.
him the ball. Yeah, Blake Bortles ain't gonna do it. Case Keenum won't do
Okay,
it.
so let's look at some receivers that parted ways from their teams.
Okay.
And see if they were mad about it. Randy Moss from the Vikings.
Didn't they trade him? I think they
Right.
traded
Well,
him.
no. However they got rid of him, they got rid of him. They didn't take the steps required to keep a significant player.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just ask what the Vikings did after he left.
I don't think they
honestly-
did very well.
nothing.
But they
Personally,
didn't
I don't
really-
know.
Nothing.
Okay, all right, that's fair. And they were doing well with him,
Yes,
but they never actually even had a quarterback.
that's true.
That was, they had,
That's
it was
true.
Culpepper, actually.
And was it Jeff
was
George
Culpepper.
there for a little while?
No, it was Culpepper, Randall Cunningham.
And then there was another guy.
Their best years with Moss were from Randall Cunningham into Culpepper.
Agreed.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you just don't let that guy walk. That's what I'm saying.
Tom Brady and the Patriots when Moss walked.
Well, they're different.
The Patriots
They're
are completely
different.
different.
Patriots different. He came in on they already had that train rolling.
Okay.
So he was just icing on the cake, and then they just took the icing off.
All right, look at AB. AB just left the Steelers. It seems like a general fan base that everyone is mad that the Steelers just let him go.
Well,
like
they
that.
got a whole bunch of other issues
They
surrounding
do.
that.
Big Ben is
Big
one
Ben is
issue.
the issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got
One
so
issue, Big Ben.
that's not a apples to apples comparison.
All I'm saying, why do you let a guy like that walk out of the door that can produce for you? And if anything, even with the antics, he's must-see TV. He's not shooting anybody. He's not beating women. He's not
Box
raping
office.
anybody. He gets upset and, he headbutts a field goal stand or something. Who cares? You know what I mean?
I personally don't. I've always said that I'm dealing with Odell's antics, and I'm gonna build around him. You just got Odell, and I personally believe that
But
Saquon.
they had him last year, and how did they do?
The whole team sucked. Like, you can't really blame one dude when it's...
Well, okay, what was their record the last 2 years? How many times have they been in the playoffs with Odell Beckham?
Well, let's talk about Eli too, though.
Once.
Because Eli don't have a cannon anymore. And he,
Right, but he's good enough to give him all these catches and yards, though.
Okay,
Not
let me
the
just
last
say
2
one.
years.
3 years ago, the Giants. I think 3 years ago, that's when the Giants last made the playoffs. Odell was on the team. I personally believe that Odell was the reason that they didn't win that playoff game. I saw an Eli Manning that came prepared to play that game, and Odell dropped 2 critical passes. One was for a touchdown.
That happens.
Now, for the past 2 years, I do not believe that it's been. I believe that it's been a front office problem because they have not. Last year they did do something about their O-line, but it stemmed from 2 years ago when they did not have anything going for that O-line. They didn't address it, and they got Eli all banged up. You seen last year that he was scared. He couldn't even make a read on time. They tried to fix the O-line. It still didn't work, and now they're still trying to patch it up. So I think that they would have just done that from the beginning, they wouldn't be in this situation. Because I personally, 2 years ago, or even, I can't even say last year. 2 years ago, I believed in Eli. Last year is when I stopped believing in Eli because of the O-line. I think he's just scarred right now. I don't think he truly believes in his O-line.
And you had a coach that was calling 8-step drops.
Yeah.
So with a raggedy O-line, 8-step drops, unathletic, like he needs.
You don't run.
Eli looks like he needs a protein shake before every quarter. That's how he looks. He's kind of like flaccid, kind of trying to figure it out.
You remember Peyton Manning in his last year? He was the old dad. That was his nickname. Something like he didn't look like a football player on the field, but he still banged it out and got a.
I'm just telling everybody,
Super Bowl.
stop trying to put these teams together with a bunch of John Stocktons. It's cool. It's cool. It's real nice.
Nah, that's
Everybody's
a bad comparison. Stockton is a beast.
No, I'm saying Stocktons in terms of personality and demeanor.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Not necessarily
Okay.
in terms of numbers, because
I
he
got
does
you.
have good numbers.
I got you.
But like you put a bunch of those guys together, a lot of times people aren't.
But here's the problem though. At that particular position, if it's a guy that's putting additional pressure on your quarterback, it can actually bring down the effectiveness of your offense, simply because if the quarterback is now focusing on this particular player more than he should, then that's going to lead to interceptions. That leads to other players not being efficient. That leads to the quarterback forcing balls. So you don't want you want the quarterback to mess up on his own. You don't want to put that pressure on him and then have him looking your way and have his whole.
But do you really think that bothers Eli? Eli's not a kid. Eli's a grown.
No, but what about the
he's
next
old.
guy? This is a long-term deal. 5 years, $90 million, $20 million signing bonus, $65 million guaranteed.
Listen, you let him go, you better hit in the draft.
Here-
you better hit on money.
Here's my thing. I don't see how people could be upset with the Steelers, and then I believe that most people are upset with the Giants, but I don't believe that you can have people upset with the Steelers and not upset with the Giants. In the Steelers, you had arguably the best running back and arguably the best wide receiver.
Yes.
With the Giants, you now had
arguably
the best running back and arguably the best receiver. I'm like, Saquon was a rookie. I understand.
Both of those franchises are historically conservative, historically well-ran franchises who really don't look at any player as anything more than the player.
Okay.
I think they're going to pay for this one. I think they're going to pay for this.
You'll put the Giants in that category?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
just
the Giants are cheap. They will let you walk.
Oh yeah.
They'll let you walk.
Okay.
Right, but they also keep their guys.
But I don't know if
they will keep their players, right? And they will keep their players throughout their career. They will have career Giants a lot of times.
Has it worked for the Giants though?
Yes. How many teams do you know that has 5 Super Bowl championships? 4 the Giants have. Who has 4 Super Bowl championships in 25 years?
I gotta say this though, in the last 5 years, the
you're right.
Giants, the Giants have been mismanaged. If they had the right GM in there,
right,
and they focus on the right parts of the team to make it better,
right,
they would still be consistent. Like this fall off is because of bad decisions.
I see them and the Steelers actually in the same position right now because they're so loyal to their people that they typically promote and they typically make long commitments to, that when those people fail, they don't adjust quick enough. So the Giants GM, the previous GM, I'm having trouble remembering his name, was just
because he's not important.
He's important because he messed up 3-4 drafts.
Yeah, that's why you don't remember him.
On the Steelers side, Tomlin is messing up. If he was somewhere else, he would have been fired.
Nah, that's Roethlisberger. I don't completely blame Tomlin.
It's your locker room.
You know what I think Tomlin is? I think Tomlin is the company guy. I think he
Right,
has a
but that's what
direct
they
line
do.
to the manager.
But that's what
the
they
guy,
do.
the owner,
Right.
and he's like, "Listen, tell me what you want to do." He's like, "Yo,
Right,
do this,"
and that's why they're so
why they do.
loyal to him. But there comes a time when you got to look at a guy and be like, it's not working. You know what I mean? And I believe Tomlin has lost control of this team. There's examples of that over the last few years. And again, he's just has that great stability. 3 coaches in our lifetime. Well, not even in our lifetime, beyond our lifetime. Because Chuck Knowles winning championships before we were born. Like
Chuck Knowles,
you know what I'm saying?
Tomlin,
Okay,
Cowher.
Chuck Knowles to Cowher to Tomlin, and that's where we are today. You know what I mean? They're not. They commit, and sometimes potentially to a fault.
Man, Giants fans in the organization, they're gonna have to sit there and watch Odell blowing up every Sunday.
We're going to see how this turns out.
I'll be
We're going to
drafting.
follow the story.
Oh, Baker's
We're
gonna
follow
feed
the
him the
story.
rock.
I'm drafting Saquon.
We'll
number
see.
1.
All right.